All right. Welcome, everyone. To start off with an announcement, those of you who walked in the front door and didn't see the signs there saying this projector doesn't work, grab a hymnal. Or those of you who walked in the door and didn't see the signs on the doorway here saying get a hymnal. Those of you who didn't get tripped up by an usher saying get a hymnal, now would be the time to get a hymnal unless you're sitting in such a position that you can actually read the words on the screen. For those of you who like to see Kevin doing the video presentation of today's story, you will probably want to move where you can see the screen. I thought I broke it yesterday. It turns out it just wanted to break itself, and I happened to be the one around when it happened. So, yeah. May 5th is Cinco de Mayo, and the understanding of cultures and south of our border and the celebrations that come with Cinco de Mayo. We raise that up. And it is also the anniversary from 1819 of William Ellery Channing's Baltimore sermon, as it's known, in which he preached on Unitarian Christianity for the very first time at the ordination of Jared Sparks at the church in Baltimore. We also know that some of you may have been dancing the maypole or celebrating in earth-based traditions for May 1st, Beltane, yeah? And we recognize the many ways in which world religions and our religious roots come from many of those kinds of celebrations. I remember as a kid dancing the maypole in elementary school. We have a couple of standard announcements. The Wonderful Wednesday this week is Friction Farm, so you can see it right there. Friction Farm is coming to play music for us, a whole theme. So if you're coming to the dinner at 5:30, please sign up on the counter. We know that you couldn't get to the counter because of all the auction stuff, but we took the auction stuff away so you can now sign up for Wonderful Wednesday. We hope you will. If you aren't coming for the dinner, just coming for the wonderful music in this space, you can come at 6:30, no problem at all. We just need to know how many people are at dinner. I also want to mention that we have a memorial service for Carol Burke on May 11th. That's next Saturday afternoon. And so at 1 o'clock here at UUTC, you may have seen that before, but we wanted to be sure, and the family wanted to be sure to have an announcement so that people would remember to come. We have a couple of special announcements. I'm going to start with Mike, if you would come forward and give us a great announcement.
Well, as you know, we've been doing the auction for the last week or months, it seems. I want to thank, first of all, so many of you who donated items and so many of you who purchased items. And last year we made $13,000. This year we made over $15,000 for the auction. And we still have a few tickets for sale outside afterwards for some of the special events, the social events, and the dinners. So come after while you're eating your cake and buy a few more tickets. Thank you.
Congratulations to our team. If you are a team member in the room, would you raise your hand for auction team here? You cannot believe how much I saw these people in this building. They were working hard and did so well. I'm going to put in a special plug. Christy and I have a couple of dinners that didn't get subscribed, I think mostly by confusion, because it said to be determined. And people came to me and said, well, I can't sign up for your meal if I don't know when it is. It's determined by the winners. So it's like, of course we're going to have it when you can eat it. So just saying, for the one person who took the chance that they wanted to sign up for our 6-person dinner, yay. And for everybody else who wanted to, please sign up. I mean, we can hold a dinner for one person, but please sign up. That's great. Thanks for letting me make that special plug. And now I'd like a representative from LHHH to come forward and Leslie's going to come forward and I can hold the mic for you if you want. Well, the people online can't hear you from their houses.
Okay.
I'll hold
All
it.
right. Okay, you have a birthday, and 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 we're celebrating everybody's birthday today. So Loving Hearts has cakes and so on outside, and punch and coffee. So please stay, have a piece of your choice of which of those, of 5 different cakes that you would like. Okay, thanks.
The interesting thing about birthdays, the month of August has more birthdays than any other month. Yeah, but the day that has the most birthdays is October, and apparently you count 9 months from New Year's Eve to October, beginning of October. The month with the least amount of birthdays is February. I guess you can count backwards from that and figure out why that is, even though the month is short a couple of days. May 22nd, though, is the lowest number of birthdays, other than leap year. Yeah, yeah. The most popular song in the English language is Happy Birthday to You, and it remained copyrighted, and so the song made tons of money from licensing fees, which is why you rarely hear it sung on TV. What goes up and never comes down? Your age, of course. Upwards of $2 billion are spent in the U.S. on birthday cards every year. Yeah. In a room with 23 people, there's a 50-50 chance that someone else in the room will share your birthday. If you can increase the number to 70, your chances increase to 99%. A disgusting fact. You ready for a disgusting fact? The first birthday balloons were made out of animal intestines filled up with water. I get water balloons, but I don't get that part. Ugh. And noisemakers used for birthdays originated in Europe as a way to ward off evil. All right, one last, you know me with stupid jokes, okay? What did one candle say to the other? I don't know, Bob. What did one candle say to the other? Don't birthdays burn you up? Okay. All right. I will put that away. Thank you. We will turn now to our candles of joy and sorrow, and we have several that have been written down here, so I will read from these. Tell you what, where's the wand? I'll light the wand for you.
I can light the wand. I
Here.
just can't do that one. Thank you.
We have old-fashioned technology.
Yes.
This is good. Well, I'm going to start with this one. This is, can I say your name? All right. This is for the United Methodist Church's changes around LGBTQ plus folks around ordination, weddings, and reinstatement of ordination, and the fact that somebody's already reached out to Philip and said, maybe we can have you reinstated. I'm going to light a candle for those who are recovering from surgery. Oh, you've lost the...
I get it.
Slide it out a little bit there. There we go. You got it? Okay. And we'll go quick with lights.
Don't worry about that.
All right.
Take care of it.
I would like a candle lit for continued healing for John Austin, who's now home from the hospital. Yeah. Talked with him last night. We have a candle of joy for 5 new members. Yeah. And let's light a candle for those things not yet shared, maybe over cake and coffee, or for the folks online if you want to post. The things that we have in our hearts and the way in which we weave community is indeed by sharing these words of joy, words of sorrow with one another. Thank you. I invite you to turn to one another now and welcome one another in your worth and dignity.
Good morning. I'm Gypsy Richardson. I'm the worship assistant today. Our opening words are, there they are. Okay, I have them. The opening words are by Reverend Michel Legrave. We arrive as individuals, as couples, as families, as neighbors, as friends. We got here by walking, by biking, by riding, by driving, by connecting. We bring with us our joys and our sorrows, our laughter and our tears, our worries and our fears, our questions and our beliefs, our ethics and our values. Some of us arrived early this morning or joined us just 10 minutes ago, or encountered obstacles on their way, or will arrive just in time for the sermon, or will sign online later this week or even next month. We are sitting in pews, leaning on walkers or canes, stretching in the aisles, settling in wheelchairs, and relaxing in recliners. We, members, friends, and visitors alike, come from many paths and join together as one congregation. To lift up our highest ideals, we have gathered now. Let us worship. The opening hymn is number 40. The morning hangs a signal. If you can stand, that's fine. If you need a hymnal, because our front screen is out, please ask the ushers for a hymnal. it's going to do. If all of you will stand and face the back screen, we are going to read the chalice lighting in unison. We come from many places, along different paths, bringing in different notes, and known together as one people.
Faith that we can use our differences to heal ourselves and each other, to bring wholeness to a fractured world. We come seeking to find community, to find acceptance of who we are. In this place we may find others who are much like us, and others who are much different. May our lit chalice remind us that we are a people taught by different stories, with many voices, but always one people working for a world where love creates justice and justice gives birth to peace.
Good morning, beloved community. Thank you all for being here. My name is Kevin Lausch, and I work with the children here at UUTC. And I'm out of town this weekend, so we've recorded this in advance for y'all. Thank you to Catherine for her help. And our book today is All Are Welcome Here. And if this looks or sounds familiar to our book last week, which is All Our Neighbors Here, it is. It was by the same writer and the same illustrator, Alexandra Penfold and Suzanne Kaufman, and it goes with our theme of pluralism. Pluralism means that everybody is needed in the community. We want to have many different thoughts and many different beliefs. We want people from different places and different skin colors and different habits and traditions and different ways of calling this place home. And so we are celebrating pluralism this month, and we're going to do that with the book All Are Welcome. And as we go through this, just like last week, there's going to be a phrase that the congregation will say over and over, and it's all are welcome here. And I'll cue you by saying, let's say it when we go through the book. So let's get into all are welcome. Pencils sharpened in their case, bells are ringing, let's make haste. School's beginning, dreams to chase. All are welcome here. Okay, let's say it together. All are welcome here. No matter how you start your day, what you wear when you play, or if you come from far away, let's say it, all are welcome here. In our classroom, safe and sound, fears are lost and hope is found. Raise your hand, we'll go around. Let's say it, all are welcome here. Gather now, let's all take part. We'll play music, we'll make art. We'll share stories from the heart. Let's say it, all are welcome here. Time for lunch, what a spread, a dozen different kinds of bread. Pass it around till everyone's fed. All are welcome here. Open doors, rush outside. We will swing, we will slide, we'll have fun side by side. Let's say it, all are welcome here. We're part of a community. Our strength is our diversity, a shelter from adversity. Let's say it, all are welcome here. We'll learn from each other, special talents we'll uncover. There's a big world to discover. Let's do it. All are welcome here. So much to learn, so much to do, and when the busy day is through, can't wait to come back and start anew. All are welcome here. Head for home to get some rest and greet tomorrow ready and fresh. Our time together is the best. Let's do it. All are welcome here. You have a place here. You have a space here. And one last time, let's say it loud. You are welcome here. Thank you all for that. This is a really great book, and it's actually based on the school that one of the creators has her daughter going to, and they celebrate diversity, and they know that diverse thought, diverse beliefs, diverse people, that is where the strength of the community comes from. And now Trisha will come up with the candle, and we will sing the children out. Thank you.
Going to get to stay in worship with us today because we have children who are like ducks and want to be outside playing in the rain, I guess, today. Oh, actually, the sun's coming out. That's nice. So we'll skip singing them out. Each week, I ask you in some way to give. Now, I know you just gave $15,000 to the congregation. And as we told the new member class yesterday, the 5 new members that took the class and signed up immediately to be members of the UUTC, told them that, yeah, I mean, sometimes you can put money into the plate, but usually most people have it withdrawn from their bank account. You know? So why do we pass this plate? We pass this plate because we just need to remember to be generous, and that's our exercise. That's our discipline. That's a part of being a religious person, to remember you sacrifice something of your time, talent, and treasure, and trust to those things that you really love. But we also have an envelope there that could always use a little bit extra in it. And this is the new month, so we have a new category of where that money will go to. And I invite Bobby King, would you come forward and tell us about this month's special collection? Thank you.
Thank you, Bob, and good morning. $15,000, that means that the pockets are even deeper. So after I get through talking, you can dig even deeper. We all know about people who are living on the margins, some not living on the margins, who are one paycheck away from losing their home. We know that there are thousands of people who, if they had one catastrophic illness or medical problem, that they could go into bankruptcy. We know that domestic violence is a problem all over our country, including in Transylvania County. The people who encounter these problems, some of us see them, some of us know them as UUTCers volunteer at the Haven. So we not only see these folks, but we get to know them. And they're no different than we are, except for some of these circumstances. Fortunately, the Haven is able to help these folks through various referral services, but the Haven is only one place. So thank God for Pisgah Legal Services, who serves people in Western North Carolina, 18 counties in our area, with free civil legal aid, anti-poverty advocacy, and access to health care. Now, we all know that our government cares for us deeply. But they, for the most part, I think they want to do the right thing, but occasionally they make mistakes. I'm going to tell you a quick story here. Dawn, a single mom, has a daughter named Tiffany who has severe autism, and because of that, she's on, or was on, disability. Then the government, in its infinite wisdom, decided that they were no longer eligible and cut them off immediately. Fortunately, they went to Pisgah Legal Services, and they found out that not only was Tiffany still eligible, but that the government owed them back taxes, or back payment, which they did. And they got them reestablished and showed them how to get tax credits. Now, that's just one example of a family who would be just totally wiped out if it weren't for Pisgah Legal Services. And they are only 2 of the 23,000 people who were served in our region. Now, we all also know that there are people who get evicted simply because they don't understand their lease. They don't understand the reasons why they were evicted, and that there are unscrupulous landlords who will look for an opportunity to get somebody out and get some more rent. Pisgah Legal Services steps up for those folks. Alice, who was a victim of domestic violence, her husband physically and mentally abused her. He fired shots in the home to terrorize her and her 2 children. He went to her boss and said, "I know that you're having an affair with my wife." And she simply came apart, and she had nowhere to go. Fortunately, somebody told her about Pisgah Legal Services. Pisgah Legal Services got a restraining order against the husband. They made sure that she had custody of the children and worked out an arrangement where she could pay her mortgage. Pisgah Legal also has a service called a navigator service, and this is my favorite service because I think all of us know what the Affordable Care Act. Thank God Medicaid was restored, but everybody doesn't know how to sign up for the Affordable Care Act. When Medicaid was restored, people didn't know how to apply for Medicaid, so consequently, thousands of people were out those 2 services. So Pisgah Legal Services, which is part of the consortium of North Carolina navigators, set up a program where people could come in and the navigator would help them go through the Affordable Care Act options to choose what type of insurance they could get that they otherwise could not, they could not access. So what would we do without Pisgah Legal Services? I'm going to give you one last number here. For every 8,000 North Carolinians in our region, okay, there's only 1 legal aid attorney, okay? So if we didn't have, now there are more than 1 attorneys with Pisgah Legal, but for every 8,000 people, there's only 1, okay? So what would we do without Pisgah Legal Services? So I ask you to dig deep in those deeper pockets as the offering plate goes around and give it to those who could really use the services of Pisgah Legal. Thank you.
Thank you, Joanna. Thank you, Ian. What's given in love, we receive with great joy. Thank you. We're going to have our prayer first, Julie,
Okay.
and then we'll have you sing. Oh, good. Yeah. Oh, thank you so much, Barbara. I invite you into this time of prayer and meditation. Spirit of love and life, we who are gathered here today know that this is a glorious day when there are those in society who will lift up differences and say it's okay. Spirit of love and life, we rejoice today, in particular for our brethren, sisters, siblings, the United Methodist Church in America, in being able to recognize pluralism in a way that will lead to greater respect and inclusion. May we celebrate with all in society who have come to new realization that difference is wondrous. May we be curious about those who are around us in our world. May we be open to the many different ways in which we have been raised, given our paths in life, and have found ways to make it a glorious society. Spirit of love and life, we also reach out with love to those who are recovering from surgeries this week or recently. And we want to reach out in particular with our love and our care to John Austin, who is home from the hospital. We celebrate the wonders and the joys of being with one another. We hope for all. We celebrate our birthdays. On whatever particular day it may be, may we remember that us being here is a gift in itself. And seeing one another is worth a slice of cake or two or three. Because it is so wonderful to gaze upon one another. These and the prayers of our hearts we hold now in the silence. In the names of all those known and unknown, remembered and forgotten, in the names of all the helpers of humankind, we say, Amen, blessed be. Julie, thank you.
Good morning. This song, if I can sing it, is an original song that I wrote for my husband David on our 9th wedding anniversary. It's a love song. But when I was singing with my band, one of the band members said, you know, if you just change the word darling to spirit, that works really well for our relationship with God. And I thought, I like it. So that's what I want you to think about. And when I think of spirit, it is like pluralism, where everyone is welcome, that I believe that the higher power of my understanding connects all living people, all living things. And my voice is going, so thank goodness I have a backup tape. This is called Artist of My Heart. Not the only one with technical difficulties. It's definitely not going to work without the backup tape. The day I met you, I was hardly even there. The wounds that I'd received had left my canvas bare. Everything I saw was in shades of black and white. Then you came into my life, and there were colors overnight. You taught me to celebrate my own colors as I brushed them on life's canvas, and praise God for this masterpiece of art. To express my feelings freely and receive the love you give me. Spirit, you are the artist of my heart. Paint me violet blue for the pain that I've been through. Paint me black, but I'm never going back. Paint the variegated green for the beauty I have seen. Paint me glowing yellow white, 'cause I finally seen the light. You taught me to celebrate my own colors as I brush them on life's canvas, and praise God for this masterpiece of art. To express my feelings freely and receive the love you give me. Spirit, you are the artist of my heart. Paint me rich brown earth for my joy of giving birth. Paint me bright pink for my passion and how I think. Paint the vivid red you find when I finally speak my mind. Paint the rainbow that is true when I share my life with you. You taught me to celebrate my own colors as I brush them on life's canvas, and praise God for this masterpiece of art. To express my feelings freely and receive the love you give me. Spirit, you are the artist of my heart. You are the miracle I prayed for. Spirit, you are the artist of my heart. Ooh.
Oh, thank you so much, Julie. Beautiful. I credit Gypsy Richardson here finding the reading this morning for us, for me to use to start out before my sermon. It's from Elizabeth Gilbert. And this is a brief quote from Elizabeth Gilbert saying, "The most peaceful people that I know and the most wise people that I know are the ones who have created enough internal space to be able to allow all the parts of themselves to coexist despite the contradictions." So they have room for their creativity. They have room for their fear. They have room for their dignity. They also have room for their shame. They have room for the parts of themselves that are glorious and divine and wonderful, and they have room for the parts of themselves that are petty and jealous and ridiculous. Right? Like they create this big, huge auditorium of a landscape inside themselves. They don't kick any parts out because guess what? You can't. When I saw the topic this month, I realized I wanted to talk about pluralism. Pluralism, how did I title it? I always forget my own sermon titles. Pluralism, tossed salad. Yeah. And if you read the update or no, the wayfinding this month, you already saw a little bit of my wrestling with the idea of tossed salad or melting pot or other things. And so I'll quote a little bit of that. But I think pluralism fits our mission. Our mission is to support individual spiritual journeys and to promote social, economic, and environmental justice. Both the quote we just heard and what I'm going to talk about ends up fitting all of those things. So yeah, so we're in a congregation where we have folks who come from all different paths. We know that. We have folks who embrace different religious ideas. Now, in a creedal church, it would be saying to people, look, you can come whoever you are. We welcome you, whoever you are, whatever you bring to this space, and we're going to make you all believe the same thing. Or at least repeat it out loud continuously every single Sunday. And if you repeat those words, then you're in. We include you. Or we welcome everybody. So come on in and let us tell you how much of a sinner you are. And if you've grown up in that kind of tradition, you might come into a space like this and say, really? I can be myself? And I can hold all these things about myself? Yeah, you can. I'm so lucky to have grown up Unitarian Universalist because I know how hard it is to grow up even in a very liberal environment and have an idea that what if somebody doesn't like this about me? I mean, can you remember adolescence? It's like everybody's looking at me. And I want to fit in. And I don't want to be beat up. So what do I have to be to not be beat up? Our society is dwelling a lot on beating up on certain people. There's a quote in our packet. There are a couple of really good quotes. Charles Evan Hughes is quoted in the packet this month that says, "When we lose the right to be different, we lose the privilege to be free." And I think there's a whole lot of folks who are saying, we want freedom. We want freedom to bash you. But they don't realize, maybe, how much it's taking away complete freedom, to take away difference. Appreciation of difference was a huge thing as I was growing up. I remember something going on in the school system in which everybody was supposed to bring something from their cultural heritage to eat at a big fair in the cafetorium or whatever that multi-use room was in the school that I was in. And so people had cakes and appetizers and all sorts of things set out. And you learned that folks brought many different tasty things, and you could try a little bit. Was it like going into one of those big box stores where they say, try these cheeses today? You know, except it was just everything spread out all over where people could enjoy that. That was a lesson in pluralism. And it's interesting because when I was growing up, we had the lesson that we were in a melting pot. So in some ways we were being told we're in a melting pot, but on the other hand, we're having these lessons of, look at all the differences we have. And so I want to talk about that difference between melting pot and salad bowl. There was an article I read from the Jewish PolicyCenter.org. America, melting pot, tossed salad, or chocolate fondue. The author was Timothy Taylor. It came out, was published in fall 2022. So Timothy Taylor said about the melting pot, and I'm quoting extensively here, that it was traced to a soppy sentiment, these are his words, I've never seen it, soppy, sentimental, and very popular play of that name, the melting pot, by an immigrant named Israel Zangwill that opened in Washington, D.C. in 1908. It was a way of expressing e pluribus unum, out of many one, which is on the seal of the United States. And it's been printed on coins in the back of the $1 bill. It's how, in the melting pot, everything is absorbed. You kind of lose the boundaries, and all the flavors run together. One big melting pot. But then Timothy Taylor goes on to say, now the salad bowl is different. The salad bowl was popularized, he thought, by eminent historian Charles Daigler in his book Out of the Past, The Forces that Shaped Modern America, which was a commonly used textbook, he says, from the 50s through the 80s. And he quotes Daigler here. Some habits from the old country were not discarded. In those instances, the children of immigrants, even into the third and fourth generations, retained their differences. In view of such failure to melt and fuse, the metaphor of the melting pot is unfortunate and misleading. A more accurate analogy would be a salad bowl, for although the salad is an entity, the lettuce can still be distinguished from the chicory, the tomatoes from the cabbage. I was told by some folks that America of the United States was the melting pot, and America of Canada was a salad bowl. The Canadians tended to hold on to differences. You can go to a certain province and not be in an English-speaking province. There was a joke in a movie a long time ago which had an entire cast of Canadian actors that everybody thought, well, they're Americans. They're U.S. Americans, and they weren't. They were all Canadian. And they had a joke at one point where somebody had scrawled graffiti saying, down with Canadians, get out of the U.S., something like that. But they scrawled it in Quebec City or something, you know. And the police came and said, you can't do that. You must put the French. It's a comedy movie. So the officer made them repeat the graffiti in French on the wall. All right. It was a joke on Canadian culture and U.S. as well. So when we can appreciate that there are many different folks and we need to have many different ways of doing it, maybe we can also accept ourselves. I really liked, our quote that was saying, have room for all the parts of you. For those people who are fighting so hard to keep difference out of society, to keep pluralism hidden, to think only us, only us, only us, in what ways are they also suppressing something in themselves? We hear about internalized homophobia. We hear about people who are dealing with shame and on any issues. It could be they've been told cleanliness is next to godliness, and they're a complete slob, and they don't feel next to God. all right, whatever it may be that you have been taught not to accept what's inside yourself, the pluralism has to be able to be inside as well as outside of yourself. I just learned something this past month, and that was while the Asheville City Soccer wants the gay men's chorus to come sing in Pride Month, the national anthem at the start of their Pride Month game, the tourists, the Asheville tourists, aren't going to have Pride Month this year. It's a political thing. It's been made a political football. A piece of pluralism is being taken away. Why? Because if you don't have a Pride Month, then you don't have a whole bunch of society realizing diversity is okay, and somebody might actually celebrate it. So we're not singing at the tourists this year. I have a fear for a country that is trying to hide our many differences when we know that it takes all of us to make something work. I mean, this country spent how much in resources in the 18th and 19th century especially trying to eradicate Native Americans. We're on what was Cherokee, tended by Cherokees, soil. How much was done to run out, erase, eradicate, assimilate, whatever words might have been used to get rid of it. And yet in World War II, we wouldn't have won some of the battles we won unless you had the Native Americans talk in their language as code. Because there was no way somebody could crack that code, because it was based in a culture that the Germans didn't value, nobody else figured out, and yet what was left of those who could speak their language, they were able to speak back and forth in a way that then completely made it safe for messages to be exchanged without being cracked. So the U.S. Armed Forces gained something by finally admitting that part of pluralism into the E pluribus unum. Assimilation is something we watch out for. Oh, you guys are all great. What did I say at the beginning? As long as you all come and be just like us, you're fine. The quote by Angel Kyoto Williams Sensei in the packet caught my eye. Inclusivity is not how do we make you a part of what we are, which I think is a part of what creedal churches tend towards. But how do we become more of what you are? So those of you who are new in this space, I would like for you to experience UUTC as a place in which we're saying, how do we become more of what you are? We want to learn from you. We want to hear your stories and your perspectives. We want you. When you leave this space, when you go home, whether you're a packet reader or not, the questions in the packet I think are good for you. One, to challenge your own internal perception of what diversity you allow in yourself. What parts do you see or don't want to see? The questions in there said, list as many of your identity markers as you can. I'm a father, I'm a husband, I'm a highly educated white male, I'm a, whatever it may be that works for you as I look through it. I'm a musician, I'm whatever pieces. What parts are your identity markers that you can put in? And then think about somebody who was heroic in your life, whose refusal to conform made it possible for you to add your uniqueness to the diversity of the world. Lift that up, because the more you think of the people who were different enough that their difference allowed you to feel like your difference would be allowable. That's honoring the plurality, the pluralism. And then think back in the way in which you missed the mark, in the way in which maybe if you could go back and change a moment in which you were being excluded or you were excluding someone else. What was that? What would it have been from your memory? Or think about whenever you've been treated like a category rather than a person. That you might be in the empathetic mood to realize how people around you may still be treated that way. And more importantly, I leave you with this. If you weren't afraid of being judged or rejected, what part of your diverse self would you let out as a gift into the world? Thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being your own individual person. Thank you for bringing everything of yourself to this place. We welcome you. I invite you to either turn around and look at the screen or open your hymn book to number 346, and we'll sing our final hymn. Come sing a song with me. Come sing a song with me. Come sing a song with me that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you home when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time. Come dream a dream with me. Come dream a dream with me. Come dream a dream with me that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you home when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time. Come walk in rain with me. Come walk in rain with me. Come walk in rain with me that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you home when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time. Come share a rose with me. Come share a rose with me. Come share a rose with me that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you home when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time. Make a wish. It's everybody's birthday. Make a wish before we extinguish the chalice and the candle. Make a wish. Hold it in your heart of what you hope for in this year to come. Make a wish about what you would like about yourself in this year or our society. Make a wish about how you're going to go off and live in a world transformed by the religious messages that we value. Make a wish that you have space for one unique new thing, at least, to come to come and enter into your consciousness. Ready? Blessings on all of you.